Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Real IAI podcast. Thanks for joining us. I've got some exciting announcements. We're recording this on December 14th, and we just recently opened up abstract submissions for the conference. So if you want to present, now is the time to get your submission in. Also, the hotel block for the conference coming up in August in Orlando, Florida at the Peppermill is open. So you can go online, go to the IAI website, click on conference, and you can find the link to reserve your hotel room as well. So the conference is planning is well underway. And speaking of the conference, that's a perfect segue to introduce our guest. She's the educational program coordinator for the IAI conference. And if you've ever seen someone running around at the conference 100 miles an hour with her hair on fire, that's our guest, Heather Connor. Heather, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Good. It's really good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Now, I do see you running around like crazy at the conference all the time. So my first question is, where does that energy come from and how do I get some?
I wish I could say that I could bottle it and sell it, but unfortunately, no. I think I just store it all up in preparation for knowing that there will be a million and one things to do. You'll usually see me gripping a clipboard that's got lots of notes on it. That usually is a clipboard that if I lose it, you'll see me panic because it's got all of my notes and to-do lists for the day, let alone the rest of the week. But it's the adrenaline and the atmosphere that really keeps me going.
Yeah, well, if you could bottle it, I'd be your best customer, no doubt about it. I could use some of that energy for sure. So we are getting really close to the conference and planning has been underway for a long time. What can you tell us we can look forward to when it comes to the educational program?
Well, we plan years in advance in terms of the location, but the program planning for the educational agenda really starts when we open up the call for papers for submissions for both lectures and workshops, which just opened this week. There should be an email to the membership letting people know if you weren't aware that the links are available online on the website. And really, the program is going to be driven by those who are willing to share their knowledge. So I'm hoping to fill all the spaces and have too many submissions to make work. And that's always my goal, is to get as much interesting, new information out there we can to the membership. That's the goal.
Good deal. And it's always a really diverse educational program. What disciplines are featured in that program?
So we are represented by several disciplines. It ranges anywhere from crimes. Some of the biggest disciplines that we represent are the crime scene investigation group, the latent print identification group. We've got 10 print identification, latent print development, photography and digital imaging, biometric information, forensic art. We have face recognition. We have the general forensics group. There is just a plethora of different things. We've got bloodstain pattern as well. And a lot of these disciplines overlap. They have information for multiple disciplines in one. 10 print identification is in there. We just have a lot of different things. We tend to have a professional track that involves management or supervisory type topics. We cover the gamut, quite frankly.
A little something for everyone,
A little bit.
A lot of something for everyone, I should say.
And sometimes too much for one person. I get that a lot, that there's so many things I can't make up my mind. And that's ultimately what I'd love to have, is you can't find time to get everything in that you'd like to at the conference.
Well, that's the biggest complaint we get from attendees, is they want to be in two places at once. And there's so much going on. It's such a huge, diverse program. People want to be in two places at once. They want to clone themselves.
Definitely.
So you mentioned that the abstract submissions were open for that now. If I want to present at the conference, what's my first step? Where do I go? What do I do?
So there are a couple of locations on the IAI website. If you go to theiai.org, on the front page, there's an area in the lower right corner, if I'm remembering it correctly, that will talk about the call for submissions. There's also drop-down menus at the top of that webpage where you can choose the conference. And if you go to the conference page for the Orlando conference, the links will be there as well. There's two separate areas to submit depending on what you're looking to present at the conference. One is going to be a lecture. This can be anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes up to several hours. And is really you teaching the audience something or presenting an interesting case study or something like that. The second link is for a workshop. Workshops tend to be more lengthy than lectures, although there are certainly long lectures, but workshops tend to be in blocks of 3, 4, 6, 8 hours, sometimes multiple days. And workshops involve a hands-on component and or group activities. So it's not just a lecture hall where you're talking to the audience. You're actually going to do something with your group. You're going to teach them something. There might be a comparative exercise. There might be processing in person. There might be going out and taking photographs. So right now, those are the 2 links that are open. They're expected to be open through January 31st. At least that's the current plan. In addition to those 2 links, though, as we progress closer to the conference itself in August, we'll see the links for poster presentations, and the photography contest will open in the next several weeks.
So can you brief us on just what the instructions are for submission, what someone has to provide?
Absolutely. So the link will take you to a SurveyMonkey survey, and you'll include information such as your name, title, your agency you work for, contact information. That's really important that you give me something that I can get a hold of you if I have questions. You'll need to provide a title for your lecture. Our new program that has our entire agenda on it and controls our app has some pretty strict guidelines on you have to be 75 characters or less. So if you give me a really long title, please be aware that I might have to cut that down. But a title for your lecture or workshop, an abstract, a description, and the more close you can align that abstract with what you're actually going to present, the happier attendees tend to be. In addition, if you have a second presenter, you'll need to provide the same information for them. I also ask for you to tell me how much time do you want for your presentation? Do you want 30 minutes? Do you want 90 minutes? Do you want 3 hours? We ask for ranges. I ask for ranges in this survey. And what I ask is that you be as careful, consider carefully what you're asking for, because I will use that to schedule that block if your presentation is accepted. So if you say 10 to 15 to 20 minutes and you really needed 45 minutes, I may only schedule you for 20 because that's what you told me you wanted in your presentation. So it's really important that you give me a good, accurate idea of what time frame you're going to need. And sometimes I do have to go down to that lower amount. So if it's 45 to 60 minutes, you might get 45. So it's really important to be really thoughtful about what time you need. In addition to that, I ask you for any conflicts you might have at the conference. Do you have meetings? Are you on a board or a committee where you have another conflict where I can't schedule you on Thursday at 4:30 p.m. because you've got something going on? It's really, really difficult. I like to make the joke that the program is the biggest game of Jenga in the world because you move one block and the entire thing can come crumbling down. So by the time I've built the program, if you come to me later and say, hey, I need to move it, there may not be a spot to move you. So knowing your conflicts or other commitments ahead of time is really important for me. Mm-hmm. In addition, in the workshop application, you'll be asked for how many students is the max number that I can put in your classroom. You're going to be asked if you need the computer laboratory. Do we need to provide computers, or will you be not needing that? In addition, a difference for this particular conference to really make presenters aware of is there is no Wi-Fi provided on the convention side. Oh. So it's really important that if you are in need of that, you have to ask ahead of time, and we have to decide if it's something we can approve beforehand. Don't come to the conference expecting to have that. It's not provided at this venue. So things like that. What other equipment will you need? Do you need speakers? Do you need a wireless microphone? But it's very straightforward. This will lead you step by step through the survey. And if you ever have any questions, there's an email address in multiple locations of the application. You can send me an email and we can address it at that point.
Perfect. What would you consider are some of the benefits of being a presenter at the conference?
I think there's a multitude of benefits, quite frankly. It can help you make some really important connections in your life. It's a great way to network. I think it provides you an opportunity to share knowledge that maybe you think nobody really is going to care, but you're going to realize how many people can be impacted by the information that you're sharing. I think it's a great way to improve your public speaking skills, prepare for court, get over that fear of public speaking we all have in the back of our minds.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's also a great way to show leadership and make yourself look really good if you're looking for another role in your current laboratory, looking to move somewhere else, an opportunity for advancement. And in addition, you get points for certification if you present at the conference. Oh, yeah. So there is a lot of good reasons to present at our educational conference. And you're going to reach a lot of people. Over 1,000 people are at the conference every year. Sometimes I've seen 400 people in a single lecture room. You can reach a lot of people by choosing the IAI to present.
Yeah. and people from different nations too. We usually have attendees, delegates from 30 different countries. So it's a great opportunity, not just to network locally or nationally, but internationally. You have that opportunity. And
Absolutely.
knowledge only has power when it's shared, right? And I'm a firm believer. People always say that um, those who can't teach, and I totally disagree with that. I think if you want to learn to do something and learn to do it really well, teach it. It's the best way to learn.
Absolutely. And what I have found is your lab may do something or your agency might do something a little differently. And you're thinking, well, no one's really going to care. And you'd be surprised just how many people do care or think they can bring that back and maybe even improve upon it and make an impact at their agency.
Right, right. Now, it's really important that the presentations, the speakers are vetted, that they're credible, that we know that they know what they're talking about, and their presentation is relevant. So how do we vet all of the speakers and also vet their presentations? There's got to be steps taken to do that.
There absolutely is. So the submissions that come in through our SurveyMonkey links are compiled by me and separated into our different science and practice categories. Those are those categories I talked about: bloodstain pattern, crime scene investigation, latent print development, 10 print identification, etc. So those are, we have committees made up of volunteers, members of the IAI that all serve on these science and practice subcommittees. Each of the chairs is responsible for taking the list of their disciplines submissions, and their committee goes through and decides which of these submissions do we want included in the program. So I send the submissions to them, they review all of them, they rank them. First, do they accept them or do they not, and in what, how important is it for this particular lecture and or workshop to be included in their program. So I ask for a ranking system that truly is just in case I run out of space, which is likely to happen as we grow bigger and bigger, that we just don't have enough educational hours to fit everybody in. Luckily, the last 2 years, I haven't had that issue, and fingers crossed it stays that way. But so we have a ranking system. They return all of those to me, and that's when the program begins. So it takes 3 weeks or so after all the submissions are compiled. So once they close, those all go out to the S&Ps. I get back all the results, and then I build that educational program where we're balancing 8 to 9 lecture rooms and a dozen to 20 workshop rooms at any one time during the week.
That's it. So there are a lot of people involved behind the scenes who are making sure that the entire educational program is legitimate.
Absolutely. These S&Ps are absolutely important. They are integral to me getting this done. In addition to the vetting, they also give me a list of the types of lectures and workshops they're looking for the conference. You should be looking in about a week or so for that list to be populated to the website, with one update to that in January of what types of things any particular S&P is looking for. They're also responsible for, during the conference, they handle the timing, the introductions, and the monitoring of all of the lectures throughout the week.
And I wanted to get to that too, and that was a perfect segue. There are a lot of volunteers who take place, who are participating in the conference, helping out, keeping things running smoothly. So who are those volunteers and what are their responsibilities?
So the biggest group of volunteers we have are our science and practice subcommittees. So each committee, of which there's about a dozen, have 4 to 5 members plus their chairs. Like I said, they're responsible for ensuring that all the lecture rooms are running smoothly. Timing is happening appropriately. All it takes is one lecture to run over 5 minutes, and it's a cascading domino effect throughout the rest of the day. So we have someone in the rooms. Also, if there's questions, this person can help facilitate getting a microphone around the room. If there's audio issues, audio visual issues, they can get a hold of me or the AV company to help fix those types of things. So they're in the room at any one time. In addition to that, you'll see volunteers from the local division. In this case, it will be the Florida division in Orlando that are running around and helping with that bag pickup when you check in, doing your banquet seating. I have a group of volunteers of my own that help manage all of the classrooms, the workshop materials, making sure if you've asked for powder and tape and packaging materials, it's in your classroom ready to go, so you're not struggling to find that, delivering packages, all of that sort of thing. So we have probably, when you bring everybody into it, about 50 to 75 volunteers at any one time working throughout the conference.
That's incredible. So if someone does want to volunteer, they can join an S&P. What else would they do to reach out to help you out at the conference?
So if the conference is in your division's purview, you can certainly talk to the board of directors of your division and help in a multitude of ways there. If you have an interest in helping in a particular area of the educational conference, regardless of the geography, you can certainly reach out to, if you want to work something with the educational program, you can reach out to me. If you're interested in working with the registrar, Mary Mattingly is our IAI registrar, and then Candy Murray is the conference planner. So it just depends on where your interests lie. All of our contact information is right on the conference webpage on the IAI website. There's email
Perfect.
addresses for all of us there.
Perfect. Lots of opportunities to help out at the conference because there's so much going on.
Definitely. And if you're willing to provide your time and energy, we're happy to include you as we can.
Sounds fun. Now, you mentioned when you lose your clipboard, that causes a little anxiety for you, but I see you running around lots of times during the conference trying to put out fires. What things are coming up in the middle of the conference that are causing issues with scheduling or things like that?
So sometimes it's as simple as the AV equipment is not working properly, and so we have an issue where the projector is not connecting with the instructor's computer. So we do include a laptop in all of the lecture rooms for instructors to use by plugging in a thumb drive or something like that. But some individuals are very tied to their own technology and want to bring their own laptop. So now we're dealing with, do they have a Mac? Do they have a PC? Do we have the right connectors? Is the audio working properly? If they needed Wi-Fi, are they connected? Those are kind of the AV type things. And we have an excellent audiovisual team. D2B Productions has been part of our group for the conference for years, and they are absolutely essential and keep us running smoothly on that end. But in other cases, it may be that we had some people that tried to get into a workshop that weren't registered, and we are out of seats, and we're having some issues with how many people are in a classroom. Perhaps a lot of times with these rooms where they're linked together, where that's separate rooms by the air walls. If you turn the lights off in one room, it's turning off the lights in all the rooms. So we're going down and trying to figure things like that out. It's the logistical things.
Right.
Some supplies. Maybe we need some extra trash bags and nobody thought about it. And I've got people off doing something else and I'm the only one that was there and they have my phone number. So I'm running to deliver trash bags. Things like that. There's just always the little things that you just can't prepare for. So you have a list and then you hope it doesn't get too much bigger as the day progresses.
Right. Well, as an attendee, longtime attendee of the conference, you and Leslie Hammer, you've always done an amazing job keeping things running smoothly. And as an attendee, I'm never aware of all of the issues that you're dealing with. And so as an attendee, ignorance is bliss, right? I just show up and things run smoothly and I just get to enjoy all the lectures and workshops and enjoy the conference. So that's all because of the hard work that you and everyone else behind the scenes is doing. So thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate it. That really is the goal. I want everybody who is attending to have the best experience they've ever had and to say that it's the best conference they've ever been to and they've not seen any of the little fires that we've been putting out throughout the week.
And they get better and better every year. I'm always impressed that somehow we always raise the bar. You always raise the bar higher and higher. So anyone coming to a conference, whether it's your first time or your 20th time, it's going to be an incredible experience. So kudos to you.
Well, thank you.
Now you wear another hat. You're also a member of the Forensic Certification Management Board, the FCMB, and I want to give you the opportunity to make an announcement. I know that something special has just occurred within the Forensic Certification Management Board, and so I want to give you a chance to announce that to the membership here on the podcast.
Well, I've been very fortunate to have a role with the FCMB under Director Michelle Triplett for several years now. And after many, many years of hard work, the FCMB has attained accreditation for its certifications, which is a massive undertaking. It's taken a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and it's a very important step for our certification programs.
Yeah, and hats off to Michelle Triplett, who worked so hard to herd all the cats and bring all of that together. When she took over, it was starting from scratch, basically, with all of the documents, the certification manual, all of the tests and everything for each certification board, and the dozens and dozens of volunteers on the certification boards. Everybody worked really hard to achieve that goal. So it's a great feather in the FCMB's cap, and it just means that our certification program has attained a next level of credibility of being accredited. So congratulations to the FCMB, all the volunteers, Michelle Triplett. Your certification program members is now accredited.
And the certification members, all the chairs and all of the boards worked incredibly hard in conjunction with Michelle to make this happen. So it's a great accomplishment.
Dozens of volunteers made that happen. So yeah, great accomplishment, and something that our members and our certified members deserve. Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, Heather, anything else you want to add?
No, just that if you're interested, even if you've always thought, hey, I've got this really cool case study, I do something a little different at my lab, submit your request to present. You never know what you may grow into. I've got a very good friend who is on the board of directors that didn't want to teach, and now she teaches every single year, and it's one of her favorite parts of the year to participate in. So if you have any thoughts of presenting, it's a great time. I think we're going to have an excellent, well-attended conference in Orlando, and I look forward to seeing your submissions.
And it's a beautiful venue too. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Well, thank you. You are hands down the hardest working person at our conference. So thank you for all that you do for us, Heather. Appreciate you a lot.
Thank you.
All right. If you have questions or suggestions for future episodes, you can write to us at the Real IAI podcast at theiai.org. If you're a vendor and you want to sponsor an episode of the podcast, you can also write to us at the Real IAI podcast at theiai.org. Our producer extraordinaire is Steve Yoder. I'm Jan LeMay. Be sure to like and subscribe. And until next time, everyone, take care of each other.